Thorkell the Tall, also known as Thorkell the High, was no ordinary Viking. Standing at over 7 feet tall, his sheer physical presence on the battlefield was enough to send enemies running in terror. Born in Denmark in the late 10th century, Thorkell grew up in a time when the Viking world was expanding, its influence stretching across the seas. He was raised among the Jomsvikings, a legendary order of warrior mercenaries. Thorkell learned to live by the sword and excelled in combat. Among the Jomsvikings, warriors had to prove themselves through rigorous training and discipline. Thorkell, with his unmatched size and strength, quickly became one of their most celebrated members. His skills were not only in brute force, but also in strategy. He knew how to outwit his opponents and lead men to victory. It was here that Thorkell's legacy as one of the fiercest Viking warriors began to take shape. In 1009, Thorkell set sail for England alongside King Sweyn Folkbeard. The Viking raids on England had been relentless for decades, but this invasion would be different. Thorkell led his warriors with such skill and ferocity that even the English historians couldn't deny his impact. He was a force of nature, cutting down anyone who stood in his way, leaving behind villages in flames and entire armies in disarray. But Thorkell was not just a mindless raider, he was a man of complexity. Following the St. Brice's Day massacre, when King Ethelred ordered the slaughter of Danes living in England, Thorkell made an unexpected decision. He switched sides, agreeing to defend England against his fellow Vikings. Some say it was out of loyalty to the king, others claim he simply loved the challenge of fighting the greatest opponents, no matter where they came from. One of Thorkell's most significant moments came when he defended London from the Viking invaders. As his former comrades attempted to take the city, Thorkell stood on the opposing side, holding the line with his newfound English allies. His fierce combat skills turned the tide of the battle, saving London from certain destruction. Even the Vikings knew they faced a nearly insurmountable foe in Thorkell. However, Thorkell's story of allegiances was far from simple. After years of serving the English crown, he once again switched sides, this time fighting for the Danish prince Knut the Great. At the Battle of Assandun in 1016, Thorkell's presence proved pivotal. With his towering figure cutting through enemy ranks, he helped Knut secure victory over the English, ultimately leading to the establishment of Danish rule in England. One of the most fascinating tales from Thorkell's life is his famous duel with Olaf the Stout, the man who would later become King Olaf II of Norway. In the early 11th century, the two Viking giants clashed in a duel that has become legendary. According to the sagas, Thorkell fought fiercely, matching Olaf's strength blow for blow. Although neither warrior emerged victorious, the duel cemented Thorkell's reputation as a fighter feared by even the mightiest of his peers. What makes this duel particularly interesting, it was a rare instance where two future legends of the Viking age stood toe to toe, and both men walked away with their honor intact. One of the most extraordinary displays of Thorkell's raw physical power came during the Battle of Hringmara Heath in 1010. As the fighting raged, Thorkell seized an enormous spear so large that most men wouldn't have been able to lift it. In a single motion, he hurled it across the battlefield with such force that it pierced through several English soldiers in one go. His fellow warriors stood in awe, not just of his ability to wield the weapon, but of the sheer force behind his throw. Stories like this solidified Thorkell's reputation as a Viking with almost superhuman strength, feared by all who faced him. In his later years, Thorkell settled into a more comfortable life as a chieftain under Knut's rule. Though his days of raiding and warfare were behind him, his legend continued to grow. Stories of his strength, his cunning, and his ability to thrive in the chaos of battle spread far and wide, cementing his place as one of the greatest Viking warriors of all time. Thorkell's incredible legacy lives on today, most famously through his portrayal in the enemy Vinland Saga. In the series, Thorkell is depicted as a towering, boisterous fighter with an insatiable appetite for battle, reflecting the historical accounts of his life. With his animated counterpart often laughing with joy during combat, the series captures the essence of what made the real Thorkell such a legendary figure. His love for the fight, his indomitable spirit, and his unrivaled strength. Thorkell the Tall's death remains a mystery lost to the ages, but his legend lives on. From the shores of Denmark to the battlegrounds of England, his name became synonymous with the Viking strength and cunning. A towering figure, not only in stature, but in history. Thorkell's story will forever be remembered in the sagas of the Vikings age. Thank you for joining us on the journey through Vikings folklore. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more legends and folklore from around the globe. Until next time, keep wandering.